I'm Ella from Hush Hush Biz, and today we're talking to Dante Basco. Hi, how are you, Dante?
Very good. Good morning.
Good morning. So, what drew you to attend this year's Comic Con in Australia?
Well, I love Oz Comic Con. I've worked with Chris and Ryan before in the past, and the lovely people, kind of like been family over the years, especially when I think of Australia. So coming back when they call me up, if it's in my schedule, I always have to come back to Australia and definitely with them.
And a new place too, Brisbane?
And a new place, yeah. Well, one of the perks of being in the business is being able to travel and see places you've never been to.
Yeah.
So I love seeing new cities. I don't really like traveling there all the time,
Yeah.
but once I get there, I love exploring. Exactly.
Good. So what are you most looking forward to with this convention?
Really just meeting new people. I mean, seeing the new town. I've never been to Brisbane. I've never been to Sydney. So really seeing the new cities I've never been to, but also it's really just incredible to kind of meet these people that I've been engaging with online for like years now. What's crazy is like I grew up in a time where you would get like fan letters or something like that that people wrote months ago, and you would never really get to engage with the fan base or people that were inspired by your work or whatnot. And now with the internet and being able to kind of really be engaged through Tumblr and Twitter and Snapchat and all this kind of stuff, to be able to go out and actually meet some of the folks that you've been talking to and having, these conversations online is pretty interesting. So
face to face and everything.
Yeah, so I'm excited to meet all the fans out there.
Cool. So what made you begin acting to start with?
I've been an actor a long time. Well, I started my whole life in entertainment, on the ground floor of entertainment. And you know what that is?
Is it when you're a kid? Or?
I was a kid, but the entry level of entertainment. What do you think that is?
Like kid shows?
Not even kid shows, even lower than that.
Or plays?
Lower than that, I started out as a street performer.
Oh, okay.
So as a child in San Francisco, me and my
I love
brothers,
San Francisco.
yeah, we were street performers. We were a breakdancing group called the
cool.
Street Freaks, and I was less than 10, probably 8 or 9, and we became one of the most popular groups in the 80s of breakdancers in the Bay Area, and that led us to dancing for the San Francisco Ballet Company, and then dancing for the 49ers and the Oakland A's, like these major American sports teams, and starting to get paid as dancers. That moved us to LA, and then going to LA got us into acting for dancing. So
That's so cool.
yeah, so from the ground floor, started from the bottom, now we here. There we go.
Oh, that's good. So your big break was Rufio and Hook.
Yes.
So how has the success of that film and working with Steven Spielberg shaped you or shaped your career?
It's a pretty big deal, as far as everyone that comes to Hollywood with a dream of not only working, which I've been fortunate to do for 3 decades now, but also to do something memorable, to do a role or roles that people are able to remember you for. Very fortunate in my career, as one friend put it to me. It's like, you've not done one, but like 2 iconic characters with Rufio and Prince Zuko, and I've done a lot of great characters that people loved, but those 2 characters have definitely become iconic for their generation, their generations, and kind of live on. So when you come to Hollywood, you do a big film like that with living legends. I mean Spielberg and Hoffman and Robin Williams and even Julia Roberts, was younger at the time, but you get to. It's really a platform to really kind of set you off in town, and really, you become known for something, which could be good and bad, because people have these ideas of who you are, and so you'll constantly have to kind of recreate yourself and whatnot. But really, it's just a very important kind of like piece in the resume. So shout out to Spielberg.
Like the made your mark kind of thing.
Yeah, you come to make your mark. You don't even know what you're doing at the time. You're just you're just doing work, and you never know how. You think any role could happen like this, but what happens is really, it's not really for us to judge in the moment. It's really just for us to kind of do the work that we're doing, and then 10 years later, 20 years later, the audience later will tell you what really, mattered to them. Yeah. And so this is one of those long-lasting characters.
Cool. So how did you find working with late Robin Williams, and how did he influence you or the way you act or something?
He's an amazing guy. Of course, he lives up to everything that you would want it to think about. Robin Williams being funny and quick-witted, and he taught me so many lessons about how to be a leader on the set and how to really take the morale is set on your shoulders. It's fun and games on a movie set, but you're working 14, 16-hour days, sometimes longer, and you're talking about hundreds of people and working for months, and that could be really trying. And to have someone like Robin Williams, who's the number one on the call sheet, the main guy in the movie, really come to set every day with this enthusiasm and excitement, and that really sets the tone for everybody. And later on in life, when I got to star in films, I realized like, oh wow, I have to come to set and help get us through the day, the whole crew, the whole cast. But then the other thing, he's this big, crazy, wild guy, but on the other side, we had such tender moments of just talking about our similar interests, which were poetry. Dead Poet Society is one of my favorite films. It still is. Even before I met him, so he was really inspirational to me about continuing my writing of poetry and my creation of poetry, which led to now, 20 years later, or 25 years later, since the movie. But I had started the biggest poetry venue, and now it's become the biggest open mic in America, and it started out in my living room back in those days. So he's like one of the inspirations and one of the people that kind of continue to support me in creating poetry, and so it's just one of those special guys,
Kind of led you to that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely his kind of support was helpful.
Good. So you've started in Nickelodeon, Disney shows, and lend your voice to the characters of American Dragon, Avatar, those things.
Yes.
So what would you say your biggest challenge when voicing characters is opposed to like live action acting?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
I'm a big fan of American Dragon growing up.
Thank you. I love that show too. Jake Long's an amazing dude.
Yeah.
The whole voiceover side of my career, kind of like a lot of times in Hollywood, you kind of stumble into different aspects of your career, and that one happened by chance. And for me, just because I come from on-screen acting and still do on-screen acting, the whole concept of acting in a room with a microphone, I really don't change my style that much. Yeah. I'm just acting. I'm just trying to be truthful in a scene, and whether it's a camera or a microphone, I'm really just trying to give an honest performance. And that's been my technique, and it's been helpful for me. But I've been able to also sit in the room and work with some of the greatest voiceover actors in the world. From Kevin Michael Richardson to D. Bradley Baker to Mark Hamill to the list goes on and on. Yeah. Like these people that are just beasts. John DiMaggio. I mean, just you're sitting in the room and you're watching great a lot. I mean, the names. You're just sitting there going. It's the same thing for me acting with Will Hoffman or Antonio Banderas or these guys that are like amazing talents, and you're just in awe of their performance. Not awe, but like you really recognize greatness when you see it, and
you want to learn from them.
Yeah, of course, I'm constantly learning, but also flattered and honored to be even in the presence or in the peer group or thought of in their class, which is great. So I just find myself kind of fortunate. If I stop myself too long, I go, well, I don't know how this all happened, but thank you.
Yeah, that's good. So what projects are you currently working on?
There's a bunch of stuff. I've done like 4 different films this year, so hopefully the next year you'll be seeing some of the stuff. Head Thieves is a really fun movie. It's like this Napoleon Dynamite movie that we did. And then this new Jarhead film coming out. So working on that kind of stuff. Also, I wrote a play called Midnight Makeout Session, which is it's this really funny kind of like romantic comedy play that we're producing in LA, and all the monologues in the play are spoken word pieces. So that's being produced the winter season this year in the States. Cool. Who knows? Maybe we can get it out here. It'd be awesome. Yeah, and there's a lot of things I'm doing in production. I have a production company called Kinetic Films, which does Asian American Pacific Islander films, and it's coming out of Hawaii. Our first 3 films are out online right now, which you can see on iTunes and Netflix and some the digital places, Google Play and whatnot. And it's the first 3 films are called Man Up with Kev Jumba and Justin Sean, and Hang Loose, which is starring myself and Kev Jumba, which I co-wrote, and then a film called Paradise Broken, which is about the dark side of Hawaii, which just came out, I think, like last month on iTunes. And It's about me playing. You know, Hawaii is like a very beautiful place where like, everyone thinks of bikinis and surfboard and stuff like that. But I play one of the local boys and about the dark side of the youth that are with the drug scene and the sex trade scene, and you'll see me tattooed up to my neck playing a crazy local boy. Cool. So you can check that out. But so we're also doing those films, a few films in the pipeline that we're developing in regards to that company. So, you know, it's just growing as an industry.
Yeah, it's got lots of good stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say you have a preference over TV, film, and like voice acting?
There's no preference, you know, you just kind of want to keep working and keep creating. That's been my key for having kind of sustainability in our career, which is one of the hardest careers to kind of keep going. If people ask for advice, I'm always like, really stay creative, you know.
As much as you can.
Yeah, you got to stay creative. The thing about it is what people don't realize in the industry is product wins, creation wins. That's why I'm so inspired by the new YouTube generation. Is they're not waiting for things to be perfect or the perfect lighting, the perfect camera. They're just doing and they're creating. And the more you create, the better you're gonna get at it. The more impact it's gonna have. It's
original stuff.
Yeah, it's that thing about like if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it,
does it actually fall?
Doesn't make a sound, you know. And the thing is, it doesn't matter, right? Because no one's there to hear it. So the thing is, go create things, make sounds. They're not always going to be the best. The more you do, the better you can get, and you're going to actually end up surpassing the people that may be better than you just because you're doing more.
That's true, So, lastly, do you have any advice for young aspiring actors who maybe want to make it into the industry one day?
Yeah, you know, the thing about the advice thing is basically understanding it's a craft and really get good at what you're doing. Study, whether you want to write, act, sing. You just got to do. Like I said, it's a different time. It's a great time because you could do YouTube. You could do. There's so many different platforms out there. You know, theater in your hometown, produce, write. Just create who you are now. I've seen kids make a whole life and a whole business out of their bedrooms. And so that's the exciting thing. But then if you want to get into acting and writing, you know, study it because it is a craft. It's been there. You can watch the years of where it's come from, the lineage of the art form. So it's just study. There is a lot of luck concerned in making it in Hollywood or this industry or whatnot. And that's true. And I'm not going to, you know, lie to you about that. But the truth of the matter is the better you get, the more lucky you can get too. So, you know, just study, work at it.
Cool. So thank you so much, Dante.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you. Hush Hush Biz, and thank you very much. I'm Ellen.